show starting. I believe that the Hangout is live on air. I'm DLAKE Prez, themediaspeaks.com. I'm joined by AnnMarie. Ann, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Super awesome. And guess what? I have brought up on my computer right now is a tweet on Twitter by Donald J. Trump. I hear that Sleepy Eyes Sam DeGangi will be fired like a dog. I can't imagine what is taking so long. Looks like we have one viewer, and I don't know if it's Sam, but we are waiting for Sam I.B. DeGangi to join us today on today's live Saturday show. I'm DLAKE for Prez, again, joined by AnnMarie. Now, Ann, in today's top news, we have Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. There's quite a few issues this week that have been brought up by both candidates and also in the mainstream media, the press. Donald Trump has selected has an idea of a list that he considers to be his Supreme Court justices, people that he would potentially put into the Supreme Court. And he came out with his list that includes names of judges such as Stephen Colleton, Allison Eade, Raymond Gruender, Thomas Hardiman, Raymond Kethledge, Joan Larson, Thomas Lee, William H. Pryor Jr., David Strauss, Diane Sykes, and also Dawn Willett. I'm not very familiar with any of these people, to be honest with you, but how do you feel about Donald Trump coming out with his list of people that he would potentially appoint to the Supreme Court of the United States of America, AnnMarie?
Well, I mean, I think that, that Merrick Garland, who, Obama had, nominated.
Right, right.
And they never even, the Senate, needs to have hearings. I mean, there was a lot of Republicans that came out and met with Merrick Garland and said that, they thought that he was a fine nominee and they don't want to hold hearings. That's the whole point. And these people, this list of people you just mentioned, I don't really know anything. We're never going to know anything about any of these people. That's the whole point of holding a hearing. Even about Merrick Garland. How does he stand about gun rights? How does he stand about this? Yes, you can look at past, cases that they looked at. But
they all have records, I assume. I mean, most of them are currently judges and justices on the appeals court and state Supreme Courts currently.
Right, but the whole point of having, the Senate Republicans were saying that they weren't willing to even have any hearings. And that's the whole point of having a hearing. I mean, you find out how they feel. You ask them themselves, how do you feel about this? And that's the whole point of a hearing. So to me, it just makes the Republicans in the Senate look bad because they wouldn't even have, hearings about this Merrick Garland. So now Donald Trump, Hillary, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is that they want. You have to hold hearings. This is the whole point of holding hearings, is to find out all these questions. Any question you have, how do they feel about this? How do they feel about that? That's what the hearing is for. So,
right. So there will be hearings, but sorry, I had to put in my headphones. But I think that what Trump is, well, not Trump necessarily, but the current Republicans in the House and the Senate are trying to say that, I mean, essentially they just want to block Obama. They don't care who he picked. They don't want him to have the choice. They want whoever is next in the Oval Office to make that decision. And so Trump, recognizing that, puts out a list that he feels are very conservative. From what I understand and from what I know is that he went to Heritage and This and That for America and even National Review and other not just publications, but institutions of thought, think tanks, and put together a list that he thought was the most credible, the most intelligent, and the most conservative, because that's really what he's going for. And he challenged this week Hillary Clinton, since today's show is Trump versus Clinton, on first topic, SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States. He challenged Hillary to put out her list and said that once we see that, it's just going to look like a bunch of gun shame. Do you think that will be the case, or do you think that will basically get the sense that they both have intelligent people that they want to bring on board, and who's to say that those aren't good choices?
Yeah, you know what
I mean, if Hillary came out with her list of judges tomorrow, do you think it's going to get totally ripped apart, or probably, I don't know. What do you think?
I really don't know anything about these people unless like we, either some, journalist digs into each one of them and we find out not just their bios, and they have to really do some extensive research.
I mean, just from what I'm looking at, on Reuters, very respected news organization, Stephen Colleton. Apparently, Donald Trump order. He's a judge, a U.S. Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit. He was appointed by George W. Bush in 2003. His education, his background, where he was law clerk, that's important, I think. And attorney, this and that, went on to become a judge. That's how the law system works. So, I mean, does that look impressive? I mean, from what I've seen on, like, LA Law, looks good to me. What do you think, AnnMarie?
Well, I really don't know. Really, I really don't like.
If you had to pick, let's just simplify this. If you had to pick a Supreme Court nominee, first of all, to replace Antonin Scalia, the Supreme Court justice that we recently lost, may he rest in peace. No autopsy was done, but that's a different story. But what would you look for in a Supreme Court justice to replace Antonin Scalia? AnnMarie, what do you think?
Well, they're all supposed to be fair. These judges are all supposed to be fair, non-biased. I don't think anyone is going to take away. No one can take away any constitutional rights. I mean, this is the thing about Trump. I wanted to bring this up, but I don't know. I know what you're saying, that you're saying that he probably wants someone very conservative because he's running as a Republican, and that he probably wants someone who's kind of like Scalia, who we know was very extreme in some of his personal views.
I think that's the smartest thing for him to be saying right now, but please continue.
But, we were talking on last week's show, and I was saying that Trump, it sounds like he wants to run America. If he becomes president, he wants to run America as a CEO. And I was saying that you can't run America as a CEO as president.
Now, did he say that, or did you say that? Who said that? Did he say that, or did you say that?
Well, we were talking about, he was asked on last week's show, he was asked on CNBC about the national debt. And he was saying that what he wanted to do was actually unconstitutional, because that goes against the 14th Amendment. And he wanted to pay it in full, they were asking him about the national debt. And he said he does it as a businessman all the time. And I was saying you can do that as a CEO. It makes sense that he's answering it as a CEO, but you can't do that as president, because that goes against the Constitution. So if you're saying to me that you believe that Trump, because he's running as a Republican and he wants to replace Scalia with another Scalia was very pro, I'm for defending the Constitution, and he was very literal about the Constitution, then I would say that actually goes against what Trump says and comes out of his mouth, because he already said, about the national
Well,
debt.
and I think that I think that would be good for him, and I think maybe he might even recognize that that would be good for him because look, he wants to abide by the Constitution, is what I feel and believe, more so than Hillary, in my opinion, just in my opinion. But
no, see, because I don't.
The United States look. The United States supreme law of the land is the United States Constitution, and it is up to the Supreme Court to uphold that based on the Constitution. Based on the Constitution. So you're looking for a constitutionalist, someone whose record, and you can call it conservative or you can call it whatever you want, but following the Constitution, the rule of law, the law of the land is, I mean, all I could ask for in a Supreme Court justice. So that's what I'd be looking for.
Okay, well, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, there is a checks and balance system. The president only has so much power. He only has so much power. I mean, and I wanted to talk about that too, but there's supposed to be this check and balance system, and there's Congress, there's Supreme Court decisions. But what I'm saying is, what I'm seeing, now this is just maybe my personal thing that I'm seeing, but what I'm seeing is that Trump wants it both ways. He's saying, I want a Constitution, defender in the Supreme Court. But yet when he talks, he wants the other direction, which is he wants to, as president, he wants to expand the role as president. He wants to actually go against the Constitution a little bit. And like I said last week's show, that was one example with the national debt, and that that goes against the 14th Amendment. Now let me give you another example. At a rally in Fort Worth, Texas, and this article was from February 26, 2016. This is a quote from Trump. He said, quote, "If I win, I'm going to open up libel laws. So when they write purposely negative and horrible and false articles, we can sue them and win lots of money." Now, he's saying if I win as the president. Now, listen, now that goes against the Constitution. That goes against, Article 2. It goes against the 14th Amendment, the First Amendment. Basically, Article 2 is in the original Constitution. Right. That lays out
I think that that's particular statement that you brought up, and I remember it back from February, was a big lofty thing that sort of applied to what was going on at that particular time. With the media, it was just after the debate. There was a lot of frenzy about that. Some hit pieces and stories that weren't exactly, all the way nice or good came out, but he put that out there. But when you're running for president, putting stuff out there is like Donald Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, setting a very high bar. So and being a little outrageous and getting the headlines and setting the high bar and putting stuff out there so that you can get this. So you can get a nice medium when we get to the negotiating table. And I mean, the more people in countries that figure that out, that's what Trump is actually doing, I mean, that could be dangerous. But I mean, it depends on people being that smart, which I think so far he's outsmarted them all, at least on the Republican side. But go ahead.
Okay, well, I'll just finish my point about Article. Okay, Article 2, it says what the president can do. It's the role of the executive branch of government. And it doesn't exactly say what they can't do. It says what they can do. And they can't revoke amendments. Now, what it sounded to me like he wanted to do from that quote, that is, if he's president, he wants to expand libel laws. And that he can't do because of the First Amendment. The First Amendment is freedom of press. Also defined by the Supreme Court. Now, you're talking about Supreme Court nominees. If he really does want someone who goes by the Constitution,
Please say that,
Let me
Sam.
see. I think
Let me go back to the Trump generator here real quick. While you
wait, I want to
receive that.
Oh,
No,
you-
while you're receiving that message, I just wanted to point out that Donald J. Trump just posted to Twitter. Sam DeGangi apologized to me, but I will not accept his apology. I will be suing him for a lot of money. This just in, Donald J. Trump tweets out that Sam DeGangi needs a new pair of glasses.
Okay, now this is the thing. There was, we're talking about the Supreme Court. There was a case. It was a Supreme Court case, and they said in 1964. Listen to this. It's the New York Times versus Sullivan. This was a big case. This Sullivan was a politician in Alabama, and he sued the New York Times. And the New York Times actually won the case. And after this case, there's a higher burden of proof now that a magazine or a newspaper, you have to prove now, like Donald Trump, if he wants to expand these libel laws, first of all, he can, but because of the First Amendment. But there was actually a Supreme Court case in 1964 where they said from this case that you have to have a higher burden of proof. It says that you have to show that they did it with malice, that they knew it was false information, that they intend to harm, and then the newspaper can get sued. I mean, you really have to prove that. And if they didn't know it was false, then they can,
So it sounds like there's already laws in place, is what you're trying to say?
Right, because if they don't know it's false, that's their defense. Like the newspaper could say, well, I printed it.
Okay.
So
what about the article?
What happens is they retract that. Nowadays, a newspaper, all they have to do is retract the statement. And they can say,
yeah,
I
but
didn't
you can't
know.
get away with constantly putting out fake crap and then retracting it a week later when no one's going to read the retraction.
Well, there's a higher burden.
We talked a little bit earlier about the article that came out on Trump this week about crossing the line, and it was a whole article about his relationship with women where he's like, don't eat too much candy, and why don't you put on a bathing suit since you're here with like 45 people that are all in the swimming pool, and you look great, and maybe we could date. And then they dated, and then she came on the news the next day and said the way that the New York Times made it sound like he was all like, hey, bitch, put on a swimsuit so I can see your body. Like, that's not the way it came out to me, to anyone else, and even the person that was supposedly one of their 50 interviews for the article recanted and said it was a pure media spin by some undergraduates that just got out of college yesterday trying to write a report to demonize Donald Trump. We talked about that. You mentioned earlier that there was a coincidence with that article and another article being that they had so many reporters on the issue. What was that again?
Oh, yeah. Well, I totally agree with you. And it's not like I'm a huge Trump supporter, but I agree. This was the New York Times. They are supposed to be, I expect a lot more from the New York Times. I mean, they're supposed to have journalistic integrity. They're supposed to have news that fits to print.
You bring up so many stories from the New York Times. I was almost considering that you might work for them, but now you're saying that that's not the case?
No. But I do think that this article was weak. The article on Trump was extremely weak. I think that his actions could be described as weird or creepy maybe to some people, but he never propositioned a woman. He never said you have to do this in order to keep your job or get your job. I mean,
did you find any groping, exposure of the genitalia, or quote unquote rape? Did he bite any woman's lip? Did he do anything like that?
Oh, no. I mean, to me, Clarence Thomas has been described as doing worse, like horrible sexual harassment. Bill Clinton has been known for doing worse. Arnold Schwarzenegger even has been, people have said that he's done worse, where they physically touch these women. And I was saying that about, this reminded me, this was like a hit piece that they were trying to get Trump. And it reminded me kind of like they were copying just for sales, maybe for sales. You know, all these newspapers and magazines are suffering right now with sales, but because of the internet. But Vanity Fair, I think it was Vanity Fair that did an article about the 50 women that Bill Cosby, Bill Cosby allegedly, we don't want to get sued, but he allegedly drugged women and raped them while they were, you know, out. I mean, completely out. So I was thinking that they were trying to do that.
Just saying 50 women came forward. 50 women came forward with their story, right? That exactly. You're trying to point that out, right?
Yeah, and you know, one of his ex-girlfriends, Trump, you know, one of Trump's ex-girlfriends that was interviewed for this.
Roanne Brewer, the one girl, the first one in the story. I mean,
she said that she did not think this was going to be a hit piece. She even specifically asked them, "Is this going to be a hit piece?" She said that her words were taken out of context. They were spun. They misrepresented her position. She supports Trump. She never saw him acting inappropriate with any women. So obviously, they really goofed up here, and they shouldn't have written this article. It was very weak.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, that article is very weak. I mean, you know, they're really trying, everybody behind the scenes. I even saw an article about Mitt Romney, who we all despise, but it says Mitt Romney's advisors give real reason behind his opposition to Trump. And I also saw another article that Mitt Romney is now going to stop trying to recruit a third-party person to go against Trump. He actually wrote a letter, an email to John Kasich from Ohio to try to get him to run as an independent against Trump. And Kasich was like, no, I don't want to do that. But he is trying,
I can't, dude, you can't, I mean, so Mitt Romney's whole plan is to split and divide the Republican Party to the benefit of Hillary Clinton. Thanks, Mitt Romney. Look, Donald Trump just tweeted out, we have it here on the Trump insult generator, Donald J. Trump, irrelevant clown Mitt Romney sweats and shakes nervously as they talk bull about me. Has zero cred. Oh, man. Another tweet just coming in. Mitt Romney is truly as dumb as a rock. Donald Trump is unstoppable. He says, hypocrite Mitt Romney. Why does Mitt Romney constantly seek out trivial nonsense? Donald J. Trump on fire on Twitter. He says, Mitt Romney did an absolute horrible job. Mitt Romney should be ashamed of himself. Oh, my God.
These ones aren't too far out there. These ones actually are pretty reasonable, these tweets.
Oh, yeah. Should I put your name back into the Trump insult generator? No. What do you think? Oh, okay. Oh, Donald J. Trump on fire today. Now, he also did another speech in front of the about guns and the Second Amendment with the National Rifle Association, otherwise known as the NRA, who just endorsed Donald J. Trump as the for president, the one that should be the president. Not Hillary Clinton did they endorse. But Trump's speech was blaming Clinton for a lot of stuff and suggesting that she would want to take away our Second Amendment. Look, I watched Hillary Clinton with Chris Cuomo saying, I will be the nominee. There's just no doubt about it, and it's me all the way. And F Bernie Sanders, he needs to get on my side, just like I joined Obama back in the day, and maybe he could be the Secretary of State. And should he be my vice presidential running mate? She's not so sure about it. If Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders were to, in fact, join the ticket and become running mates, however that would work out at the convention or however so with the Democratic Party, they would be the oldest combined age ticket in history with a combined age of 142. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Ann? Is that what we want, or does Hillary need to pick someone like younger, more diverse, or well? I mean, but Bernie's got such a huge, young, diverse audience. So I mean, what do you go for if you're Hillary? What do you think?
I'm not a Hillary fan or a supporter. I mean, in fact, I'm shocked the way they're handling her campaign. I mean, I think she's made like a lot of boo-boos along the way.
When Hillary on Quiz Cuomo said that there is no way that she will not be the nominee, didn't she forget to mention the fact that she just might be indicted and might be, put in jail or have her security clearance revoked, thus, making her ineligible to be the president? Do you think anything like that could still happen before the convention, AnnMarie?
I don't think so. I think that they're like Teflon. The Clintons, they've had tons of scandals. They've gotten away with tons of stuff. I mean,
the Teflon.
There was Whitewater. Bill Clinton, you mentioned on last week's show, is on that sleazy guy's airplane. And
Jeffrey Epstein, the Lolita Express going to Orgy Island and shaking on. I said one time, but I was hearing on the news this week that 5 times he said, Secret Service, you guys don't need to come with me. It's cool. I got this. Don't worry about it. I'll see you when I get back.
Yeah, I researched this Jeffrey Epstein, and last year in the news, Prince Andrew was under fire for being friends with him. There's pictures of Prince Andrew and this young girl that said that she was harassed by Prince Andrew. And so there's actual proof that she was actually next to him, and he got away with it. So I know he's a royal over there, but Bill Clinton is disgusting and sleazy, and it's weird that they would attack Trump for women, women bashing things when Bill Clinton has done some really sleazy things. Now with Hillary,
can we go to Orgy Island on Google Maps? Orgy Island sounds kind of fun. And you want to book a flight?
Well, these girls, I researched some of this. Now, these girls were all underage. They're from many different countries, even our own
14 to 17 in different countries. Okay, continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then they would have these girls do explicit group, orgy things, like group sex and things like that. And they were really young. I mean, it's disgusting. And they're recruiting these girls from all over the place. And Bill Clinton, that's disgusting. I don't even want to think about what he did to these girls. And if he didn't just go one time and say, oops, I didn't realize. You okay? But he's disgusting. And I mean, like I said, I'm definitely not a Hillary supporter. I'm not a Bill Clinton supporter. And it just disgusts me. They get away with everything.
And did you see any clips from Donald Trump when he was being interviewed by Sean Hannity this week for Fox News, when Hannity sort of walked him into it because he said Juanita Broderick, Willie, Paul Jones, all these names, and then said he was, sort of accused of exposure, of groping, of unwanted advances. Then Trump just says, and rape, because that goes to the Juanita Broderick story. And then Hannity repeats, yes, and rape. And then it was splashed all over the Drudge and splashed all over the internet that Trump says the R word, the R word, the R word. The R word? I mean, is rape a bad word? I mean, it's a bad thing, but is it a bad word?
Well, I guess, maybe these newspapers are afraid of being sued or something like that. I don't know, but
Because it's just an allegation at this point. But I mean, it's an allegation from that Juanita Broderick says she was raped in a hotel room back in 1978. She didn't tell her story until 1999. Things were breaking up then, and then we had Monica Lewinsky. Millennials aren't aware of all this stuff, but there was the Monica Lewinsky, and it was like he was impeached for lying. He's, I never had sex with that woman except for the one time she gave me head at the Oval Office, and we had cigars, and the blue dress had just a little bit of jizz on it, and I don't know how it got there, but
yeah, well, this is the thing. There's been so many scandals. If anybody wants to go back and look at all the different scandals, and they've gotten away with everything. They haven't gone to jail.
Thank God that Monica Lewinsky scandal cleared us of the Whitewater scandal and all the financial scandals and all the Wall Street money scandals. Like, look, I'd rather have a sex scandal than a, financial crash type scandal or some kind of economic scandal or something. And Hillary's like, I am in no ways tired. And then even this week, she's like, she inflicts her Southern accent every time stuff starts getting crazy. I kind of do that too with comedy. I'm like, yeah, that's so funny. But like, she's like, you're entitled to your own opinions, but not your own facts. I'm Hillary Clinton. It's like, shut up.
Well, that's the problem.
D-Lake tells Hillary Clinton to shut up.
But that's the problem. They need more facts. To get these people to go to a court of law, you need facts. You need like, even for a rape allegation. I mean, you have to, my God, you got to like practically bring like semen with you and say that I was raped, I was just raped. I mean, you can't, you have to prove, the burden of proof is so high. And they deleted all these emails. I just don't think that she's going to get in trouble for this. I mean, I think that people are hoping, but they've never got in trouble before. And I don't think that she's going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I really don't. I think it probably will.
Her email scandal needs to show up some semen stains. Like, I'm thinking of some old movie or something where it's like, semen is everywhere. Super bad or something. I don't know. It's so funny. But, oh, man. Where the hell is Sam? Boop. Boop. Nothing, huh?
Well, he said, I've got amazing entertainment news.
Oh, well. Bring it. I wanted to play a game today. We are live, but we haven't really been live all that long because we got started early, so maybe it seems longer to me. Just wondering where Sam is. Great show that we're having. How do you feel about the news this week with what has been going on with Bernie Sanders? And let's just talk a little bit about that.
Okay. What do you want to talk about with Bernie Sanders? He's got a lot of support.
Hillary says she is the nominee, and it's all her, and it's in effect that's the way it is. Statistically, mathematically, Bernie's chances are not as good as his supporters would like to think, but his supporters have been causing a ruckus, and some say they threw chairs, some say that they made death threats and other threatening YouTube comments and remarks. Just a reminder to everybody watching the show that sticks and stones and chairs that are thrown can break your bones, but names and words and language, and no matter how dangerous they say the language is, and his language is dangerous, and D-Lake's language is so dangerous, it cannot hurt you. This YouTube video cannot physically hurt you. Yes, I might torture you mentally, but you'll be okay. You can work through it. Drink some green tea. Drink a seltzer. You'll be okay. It'll be all right in the morning. Trust me. It's just words. I mean, I can do physical damage. It's funny. I was talking to my friend the other day, and it's like every time people get drunk, like all of a sudden they think they can karate chop anything and do roundhouse kicks. Because it's like, if you can't do this roundhouse kick sober, do not try to do it when you are drunk. Okay? It's just that simple. AnnMarie, how's it looking to get Sam in here? Is that looking any better?
No, it's not looking good. He said that he has cool entertainment news, but he is having internet problems. So it doesn't look so far like he's going to be doing. Maybe save the game for.
Had a great game plan, man.
Well, I don't mind people drinking. Like, I don't really drink myself. I'm trying to drink different things and taste different beverages, like beers and things. But
being sort of exploratory, a little experimental, or what?
Yeah, and I was looking up like vegan. I saw an article about Guinness is going to start becoming vegan this year. That they're going to stop making it with isinglass, which is like some sort of disgusting thing that they make Guinness beer out of, and they're going to take it out of that Guinness beer, and
some kind of disgusting thing that's not vegan is what you mean?
Oh,
like
yeah,
maybe it comes from an animal or something?
It's ISIN glass, GLASS. Ice. It's like is in glass. ISIN glass. It's a fish bladder used in beer, and Guinness said they will stop using this in their beer by the end of 2016, and vegans will be able to drink this by the end of the year. Most companies use gelatin, so this is something that beer companies used to use. And I tried to be vegan for a little while, and but I do need some protein, and I have a problem sometimes with soy. Sometimes I can't digest soy. Like even when I was a baby, suppose I couldn't even have soy formula. So it's like, what protein do you have as a vegan if you can't have soy?
I mean,
that's basically what.
Last week, sorry.
Oh, you can't. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Last week you were talking about putting like herpes into the carp. And now it's like we want to ban like a fish oil. I'm like, good. Like, no, I don't know. I mean, I'm torn. A fish is supposed to be good for you. Why? Don't make it bad with chemicals and biomutations, for crying out loud, and genetic modifications. Just keep it real, right? Keep it real.
And even like I used to eat like a lot of tuna fish, and that like when I was pregnant, they were like, of course, they said that's high in mercury, so you got to be careful. Too much mercury. There's a million things I couldn't eat when I was pregnant. So,
what about shrimp? Because I have a friend. I'm not really supposed to be telling anybody this, but she's pregnant, and yeah, and she's worried about eating like shrimp burritos. It's one of her favorites. She's sort of a what do you call it? A pescatarian. Like she doesn't really eat like meat, but she'll eat like fish, and she loves shrimp and like shrimp burritos. And she's like, I want a shrimp burrito so bad, but the nurse said it's not good for me. I'm like, because of the mercury, or like once a week's not going to kill you. It might be good for the baby. I don't know. Still, like you're still in the first like whatever thing, so you should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, shrimp, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't told not to eat shrimp, but people have different, I guess, reasons. Like, I couldn't even have, like, leafy greens. I had vitamin K because I was on those blood thinners, and you can't have, like, vitamin K in a high amount. So I guess it depends, like, what her doctor, is telling her. But, yeah, I love shrimp burritos or shrimp tacos, and
yeah. No, I was just looking up an article here that eating chicken, like processed chicken while you're pregnant, according to nutritionfacts.org, may lead to a smaller penis for your son. If you have a son, male child born, the The phthalates, the chemical compound, may lead to smaller penis for your baby.
Well, I'll tell you, I craved meat. Like before I had my son, I ate basically fish. And there's this restaurant called the Fish Market, and I used to just eat there like all the time. And then as soon as I got pregnant, I was like craving meat, red meat, and I that's all I ate. I ate like red meat all the time. I had like 4 crock pots going of like
steak and meat and chunky meat sounds pretty good. I mean, that's different than processed chicken to me is like, did you eat a lot of chicken McNuggets and like crappy chicken from from the fast food? No, so yeah, so I'm sure he's well endowed. It's fine, but good for him. Your son is so beautiful. No, this picture. This is just a screenshot. Donald Trump was being interviewed on Fox News, like the Good Morning Show. But I just thought this picture. Wait, make sure we have this. Yes. Okay. So Donald Trump is doing the interview. So his face and his picture is right here, right? You can see that, right?
Yes.
Above him is an amazing homemade sign for Hillary. I mean, I want to vote for Hillary, but just based on the creativity of this sign back here. But there's Hillary smiling like an evil witch devil next to her husband, Bill Clinton, pointing like the Grim Reaper. And also featured in this picture is Bill Clinton's shadow right here that just looks ominous and scary over there in the corner, juxtaposed to Trump's profile over here. Obviously, I guess this is in South Carolina because it says SC for Hillary, but that could be something else. This looks like Moms for Notion or something. I can't tell exactly what this sign says, but I mean,
like for Clinton. For Clinton.
In the headlines, revitalizing role. Clinton touts Bill's economic expertise. She wants to like put Bill Clinton, her husband, in charge of revitalizing the economy. At one point, they were speculating that what if she made Bill Clinton her vice presidential nominee? I'm like, and they're like, is Bill Clinton when Donald Trump says rape? Or Sean Hannity says it, or anyone else says Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton's passed, or he was impeached, he lost his law license, and Monica Lewinsky did the whole thing in the Oval Office, and this and that, and some other stuff. It's like, is the spouse of okay? Look, you have your presidential nominees. Donald Trump and Ted Cruz kind of had a thing about wives with Melania and Ted Cruz's wife Heidi Cruz. Heidi Cruz worked for Goldman Sachs. Heidi Cruz was on the Council of Foreign Relations and all this other stuff. Okay? Donald Trump's wife, Melania, was like a model. She did some other stuff. She had some interesting business career choices. Actually, an impressive resume as far as her education and how smart she is and stuff. Hillary Clinton's spouse used to be the president. He was the president. How is that off limits? If your spouse was formerly the president, then everything about him is in the public. I mean, you can't say Hillary Clinton's spouse is off limits. He was the fucking president. Does that make any sense to anybody?
Yeah, I saw like she specifically actually mentioned after that he'd be an economic kind of advisor. She specifically mentioned that he was very popular with the coal industry and coal miners. So I think she's just trying to...
After a week of her being extremely unpopular with the same group and losing West Virginia.
Exactly. So that's what she's trying to do there. She's just trying to appeal now to them still. She's still trying, you know.
Is that called pandering?
Yes.
Should we go look up the definition? No, where? I'm trying to keep the show going here, thinking that Sam will get in here in a minute and we can play our game. But are we gonna hold it off? Did you have anything in science news? Because Sam's not here. I mean, I could probably find something. What?
He said that the internet's out in the whole area.
Oh, it's one of those things. Okay, that's terrible. Do you have
Let's
anything
see.
like science related?
Let's see.
Did you know that the blue moon, bright Mars? I think I might have some science right here. Let's see. According to the Miami Herald, stargazers to get rare glimpse of blue moon, bright Mars this weekend. There will be a blue moon tonight, Saturday night.
Ooh.
And Mars will become one of the brightest bodies in the sky starting tomorrow night on Sunday. Cloud cover may hamper the experience for South Florida stargazers, but I'm pretty sure wherever you are, where I'm at here in San Diego, where AnnMarie is at in West Virginia, this is something that we might be able to see. Tonight, supposedly a blue moon. Have you ever had blue moon beer? And I mean, should we have that tonight? And with a slice of orange, I heard, is like the perfect way. And I have oranges in my refrigerator.
Awesome. Yeah, I've had that. It's like a white Belgian beer or white.
Belgium,
I had it.
right.
I had it in Colorado, and I remember Heidi Klum used to always go up to like Aspen. I've never been to Aspen, but I remember she said that was her favorite beer.
I've been there.
It was the blue. Oh.
No, I mean, of all the places you could say you've never been, most times I would say me either, but Aspen, I've actually been there. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've been to the Gulf of Mexico, too. That's a funny story. Just like, what was it, last week, 2 weeks ago on Mother's Day. Yeah, I was cracking up about that with my mom because back in like 1990, I'm going to say, my dad and we were in San Antonio, Texas with my aunt, and we took a road trip down to the Gulf of Mexico. I'm from San Diego.
Did you go to Corpus Christi? Because I've been there. That's like around the Gulf of
Corpus
Mexico.
Christi. Yeah, Corpus Christi. Yep.
I've been there. Cool. Okay, go ahead.
No, but I mean, I'm from San Diego, Pacific Beach. The waves are awesome and amazing, and the sun is shining, and the beaches are magnificent, and the waves come crashing in. Back in the day, and now they kind of have a lot of seaweed problems. It's kind of nasty, but we went to the Corpus Christi and we went to the Gulf of Mexico, and it was just gray skies. The waves were just like little, not even baby waves. They were just like on a gray beach, little short, shallow beach. And I'm like, nobody was on it. It was just like, not even fishermen. I'm like, what is this? This is lame. And my dad's like, well, at least one day you can say you've been to the Gulf of Mexico. So boom, there you have it. You're like, oh, I went to Aspen. I'm like, I've been there. So it's like, I haven't been all over the whole world. Like, it's not like everything you say, I could say me too. But there's those couple things, right? Corpus Christi, we've both been there. I want to go to New York and Staten Island, where you're from. That sounds cool to me. You're like, nah, it kind of sucks. No, just kidding. Is it good? You like it there? No.
Staten Island has changed completely from when I was a little girl. I mean, when I was little, like down, like Staten Island is kind of like the suburbs, and like there's a beautiful boardwalk now that they built, and there's like a Midland beach that's next to the boardwalk. Now, when I was little, that beach was really kind of gross, but now it's open to the public. They cleaned up the beach, and they have a boardwalk down there. It's near the Verrazano Bridge. I don't know, it's a really beautiful bridge. And then the garbage dump, we were known for having this huge garbage dump, and they closed the garbage dump. In fact, you could even see it from outer space at one time, but now they closed the dump. But there it is. There's the boardwalk. See, I've been there. You could walk. There's the beach right along there. There's Midland Beach. That's where everyone used to hang out in high school and drink and stuff like that. And there's the bridge. It's so beautiful, and you can see cruise ships come. They come
this right
under
here,
that.
I'm sorry. That's the Verrazano right there.
Yes, that's the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, and see the boardwalk.
Yeah,
that's so beautiful.
Kind of looks like the Golden Gate, but a different color, right?
Yeah, it's really
like San
beautiful.
Francisco. Yeah.
Yeah, and then what else? Let's see. Oh, and when I was little, down the street from my parents' house, there used to be stables. And I actually went to a birthday party for a friend of mine, and there was like horses. In fact, like Clove Lake Park, I used to always go to this Clove Lake Park. It's like right down the street from where I used to live. Um, and there was like, they had a bridle path, and I think they still have the bridle path, and that was for these horses. They would cross the street, and everybody would be on horses, like the policemen sometimes were on horses, but people would take the horses from the stable, and they would go to, that's Clove Lake Park. Isn't that so pretty? And then you see beautiful brides in their, wedding gowns would come there.
Oh yeah, this looks like a great place for that, right? Oh, look at this.
Oh,
This looks like the Tunnel of Love at Disneyland, right, or something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I
here's
used
a young
to go.
couple. Oh yeah, right by the Tunnel of Love. Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah. There you go.
You could rent at the Clove Lake Parks. You could rent a canoe and a paddle boat. And me and my friends, we used to always have picnics, and then we go rent a paddle boat, and you paddle boat. There it is. I was on one of those, that yellow one. And there's a canoe.
Yeah, the paddle boat. Yeah, that's like a rowboat. That's a paddle boat. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's really cute. And they have like a little cafe there. I used to always go there. Then there's
Oh my God. What a brilliant photo. Look at this.
Oh my God, gorgeous. There's
Seth Rogen getting married right there. Something. Yeah, it's really pretty.
I used to go
yeah.
every day.
Did you feed the ducks?
Yes. Oh my gosh, my grandma used to always give me, we used to walk from my grandparents' house to the park, and I'd take bread with me, and I'd walk everywhere. And
I heard somewhere that feeding bread to ducks is not good for the ducks. I'm like, I've been feeding crackers and bread to ducks my whole life. What do you mean it's not good for them? They love it.
The only problem you might have nowadays, now this is why, now Staten Island has changed. The stables
the food
are
is all
gone.
processed and crap.
Yeah, well, the stables, there's no more horse stables. Now it's like condominiums. So there's no more horses and this and that. And then the park, you can't bring bread to the park because now instead of ducks, they are overrun with geese. So I try to take my son to the park.
They're mean. Those guys are mean.
Oh my gosh, and they never had that when I was little. We just had little ducks. Now there's geese, and there's geese poo everywhere. And you got to watch where you step. There's poo everywhere. It's disgusting. Yeah. So that's like disappointing. And so anyway, like
camp, there was a bunch of geese poop everywhere, and the archery
oh yeah,
field.
and they have overrun Staten Island parks. I don't know how they're going to get rid of them, but they have to get them to move out. I don't know why where all these geese came from, because it wasn't like that when I was little. But
what about this picture on my screen share though, real quickly, AnnMarie, at Clover Lakes Park? Is that real or Photoshop? Look at all those colors.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous, and
is that for real? It really looks like that?
Well, I guess my favorite time of year always is the fall, because that is when they change.
Yeah, those look like fall color, but I mean, there's green still in there. I mean, that looks Photoshop, but I don't know.
It might be Photoshop, but there are those colors, especially I know when I lived in upstate New York, and I really didn't like living in upstate New York that much, but the one thing that was beautiful was the Adirondack Mountains, and they had those colors for real.
Wow.
In Colorado, they had the aspens, but they didn't have colors like this,
Yeah.
These beautiful colors like
this is, have you been to Hanging Lake in Colorado?
No.
Now, first of all, my name is David Lake, so to hear Hanging Lake does not sound very good to me, but
no.
Apparently this is Colorado. That looks beautiful, doesn't it, right there?
It does. I didn't see anything like that in Colorado. I saw, we passed the red rocks as we were driving up to Steamboat Springs. I saw aspens, just little gold trees, which were beautiful. But I didn't see anything like this, But anyway, where did I know you like Wu-Tang Clan? Where did they live on Staten Island? Do you know what part of Staten Island they lived in? They probably were on I wonder what side of the island they lived in.
Oh, the furthest point. What's it called? Between from the boardwalk all the way to the northern end. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Master
because it's like
Killa,
2 minutes.
Wu-Tang. But no, but they're from all over. I mean, that's a group of 9 individuals that all team together to form the Wu-Tang Clan. Oh wait, let me just see here. Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Clan. According to Donald Trump, let's see. Wu-Tang Clan is a totally overrated clown who speaks without knowing the facts. Uncomfortably looking Wu-Tang Clan calls me to ask me for favors and then mockingly smiles. Dummy Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Clan's got a lot of problems. Wu-Tang Clan is desperate. They have no imagination. Donald Trump, look, I don't know if you could be president talking shit about the Wu-Tang Clan like that. That is ridiculous. Everyone loves the Wu-Tang Clan. Yes, some of the members are from Staten. The SI.
But you know, it's nice
I know. K Solo is from CILISL. He's FLY. He's from Central Islip, Long Island. I know that.
Oh, Long Island.
Long Island. That's different from Staten Island. Do Staten Island people and Long Island people not get along, or how does that work?
Well, nowadays, a lot of people move from Brooklyn to Staten Island, and a lot of people on Staten Island always say that they want to move to New Jersey, or we say Jersey. We take out new. We just say Jersey. But it seems like Staten Island has a lot of people from Brooklyn now. So it's changed a lot.
According to Wikipedia, the Wu-Tang Clan is an American hip-hop group from New York City, originally composed of East Coast rappers RZA, GZA, Method Man, Raekwon, Ghostface Killah, Inspector Deck, Yuga, Master Killa, Old Dirty Bastard, and Capadonna. The group was formed in and is associated with the New York City borough of Staten Island. There you have it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they don't get into what parts and what place exactly, but I mean, that's where you're from.
Well, that's cool that there's. I mean, usually it's a forgotten borough. I mean, it was like a Jeopardy question. They actually asked, "What are the 5 boroughs?"
Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten, and Manhattan. Or
yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Did I get it?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, Jeopardy Master, do you like for friends? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. See, I wanted to play a game today, and I think I was going to win, but we don't have Sam here. Oh, man. I have a better game than Jeopardy Guess the 5 Boroughs. Please.
Yeah, well, that guy got that. He got it wrong. That when I watched Jeopardy, he couldn't get. He got all of them except Staten Island. He didn't know Staten Island. And when Alex said Staten Island, it was like.
What was that
like
one?
You never heard of
Jared or something.
But you know what's nice though? Let me just say this: if anyone ever goes to Staten Island, take the Staten Island ferry. It's free now. When it used to be like a quarter. And we used to say, I was saying like that and 25 cents will get you on the ferry, but now it's free. So it's a free thing, but you could see the Statue of Liberty for free. You could get on the Staten Island ferry. You could get on in the Manhattan side, or you could get on the Staten Island side, but you see it's a nice ride. You could even go outside and you see you go by and you can see the Statue of Liberty. It's not the boat that takes you to the Statue of Liberty, but it's nice to see it from over there.
The Statue of Liberty. Didn't we get that from France?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. It's great. Thanks, France. For nothing. You think this letter on my A stands for France? Quote unquote Captain America. They haven't done that in the movies yet, they haven't done that in the movies yet, but it's from the comic books. You think this letter on my head stands for France? He's Captain Frickin' America. Oh, looks like I have messages. No, I was going to look something up.
The Statue of Liberty, it was like, I was disappointed when I went in it because you have to go up all these stairs, right? You could take an elevator to the Pentagon, but it took all these stairs up to the top, and there was a little window at the crown, and it was like really like foggy, and the thing looked like it needed to be like Windexed, and that was it. And then you look out this little tiny window out the crown. They closed the torch when I went there, and then you just go right back down all those stairs. And I wanted more of a view. I wanted like a bigger window. I was just picturing something more, you know. That was on a school trip. We went to the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, no, I hear you. That sounds great. Sorry, I was just hooking up for sound. I was just so curious when this came up. I'm gonna play a little bit of it here.
The 2 ending in the same letter on a list of the 12 apostles. 30 seconds. Good luck.
Okay, it looks like we have a Jeopardy question here. Baby names. Of the Social Security Administration's top boys' names in 2000, the year 2000, the 2 ending in the same letter on a list of the 12 apostles. AnnMarie, you want to place...
Okay.
You don't have any money to wager for the final Jeopardy, but do you want to take a guess at this before Ken Jennings obviously wins it and becomes the champion? But what do you think? Of the Social Security Administration's top boys' names in 2000, the 2 ending in the same letter on a list of the 12 apostles. 12 apostles. Or possible.
Well, let's think.
It probably ends in A. I want to say, or no, 12 apostles. Oh, jeez.
Well, what is it like? Let's think. I'm trying to think here.
I don't want to cheat on this. I could probably go try to cheat on this, but
well, who's the apostle that like baptized everybody? John the Baptist, right? He was an apostle.
So John and
is it like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? Like the
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, some other guys. So what's the?
Oh.
Peter was there.
Peter, that's yeah.
Joe, I don't know. Joe was there. Oh man, N. You think the letter is N? Let's just guess. Let's just try to. It doesn't sound like we got this, but let's just try to guess the N. Let's say it's N is the letter. What do you think? John.
Go for it. John.
Wait, what else? What else would end in N besides John? No, I think it's gonna be L. I think the letter is L, but let's see. The music.
Kathy, we begin with you. Which 2 names did you come up with?
I picked what are John and Simon.
N, the letter N. That's what you said, right?
Oh, John the Baptist.
Cost you everything you had. Okay.
Oh, she said you're not right. She just lost all points. It's not N.
He had 8,400.
S.
You picked Thomas and Judas.
Judas, I don't think Judas was one of the apostles, man. Come on.
500, leaving him with 900.
Oh,
Let's go to
okay.
Ken Jennings now.
L.
2,200. He has not missed many.
Oh, Matthew and Andrew. Oh, W. You got it.
He selected Matthew and Andrew, and he risked 5,800, and that's right. 29 brings your total.
Oh, and are we not biblical? We didn't get that. Why did we not get that?
But at least we knew some of the apostles. We did remember the major ones.
Andrew and Matthew. Oh, man, that was a good one. Trying to make up for the fact that Sam's not here. I wanted to play our own game. Screw Jeopardy. Screw Jeopardy. F you, Ken Jennings. All right, I'm going to plug in my headphones and let everyone know where they can find us.
TheMediaSpeaks.com.
Okay, wait, can I hear you?
That was too fast. Yeah,
okay.
I just said the beat.
I thought I always plugged into the wrong hole.
You can find Sam at the Correct Views. Go to the Correct Views for Sam DeGangi's website.
That's right. Is he going to get in here? Is the power back on at his place? Look, just message him one more time and ask him, is the power back on? Can you get to us? I'm getting multiple messages on my Facebook, but it's not from Sam. Whole lot of headaches. Oh, I'm talking to my friend about his new drummer for his band. It's pretty cool. I always talk to cool people. That's what I do. That's why I do a show every Saturday with AnnMarie, because that's how we do it. Oh, and we talked a little bit about this before the show. If we could just stall for Sam to get in here, because it looks like he's trying. What's going on with this hat, this America Was Never Great hat that leads to death threats?
Oh, gosh. Well, they said that this woman works at Home Depot. She's 22 years old. She was working at Home Depot when someone came in, saw her wearing this hat that says America Was Never Great. And someone took a picture of her wearing this hat, and then it went viral. Someone posted it on social media, and then it got picked up. And the Staten Island Advance, which is a newspaper on Staten Island, went to go visit her and interview her. And she said that she loves America. She said that she doesn't think anything bad about America, but she did say that she's a Bernie Sanders supporter. She said that that she just wants to know when was America great. So when Donald Trump wears that hat and says "Make America Great Again," she wants to know when was America great.
And in the article, though, what we talked about is it never stated where she purchased the hat, who made the hat, how she acquired the hat, and she was a Bernie Sanders supporter. Is that right as well?
Yes.
Maybe was it supplied by his campaign in some weird, twisted way, or anything like that, or?
Right, that's a great question. I wish that she was asked that question because that's so important to know. Like, is there?
So you're saying that you and I are better reporters than whoever did this article for the New York Times, and perhaps we should work there instead of them?
Yes, that would be great. We should.
Okay, well, thank you, New York Times, for fucking nothing.
Yeah, they've been dropping the ball lately. They had that lame, weak article about Trump.
Yeah, there you go. Come on, New York Times. Why don't you get some smarter people that are a little bit more matured and older and have more experience, like AnnMarie and myself. Just call us a team. Every article will be titled the AnnMarie and DLAKE article, and boom, it'll come out. It'll be amazing. We'll always be on top of the facts. We'll do a lot of research. We'll get the true story and not the bull crap that you guys have been peddling and putting out lately. I mean, yeah, it'd be great if you could give us a job and pay us a lot of money, but if you guys are going out of business soon because of your crappy articles, it's not our fault. Is that right, AnnMarie?
Yes. And, a lot of these articles nowadays are just copy and paste, copy and paste. I mean, it's practically...
They have robots writing them! Robots!
Yeah, and there's no follow-up questions. When someone says something, I always say, well, what about this? Where's the follow-up questions? There's hardly any follow-up
robots
questions.
Don't have the AI yet to be like, hey, but what about that one time you said this and or like the follow through, the like next question, the like logical. Wait a second. What you just said, isn't that a little hypocritical, or isn't that a little bit against what you said here and there and stuff? And I mean, like, or I don't know. I'm just saying humans are better than robots. I stand by that. Fuck transhumanists. I'm DLAKE for Prez, themediaspeaks.com. Thanks, AnnMarie. Great show I thought we did today.
Yes.
All right. Pour juice on your chin.